Nobody moves for their phones except Barack. He gets up, looks at his phone, sets his phone down, sits down, and starts eating again.
The night the 2008 election results were coming in, you, your family, were having dinner at your sister and the president's house in Chicago with everybody's kids as the election results were coming in. How well do you recall that dinner?
Oh, I recall that very well because it was like any normal dinner that we would have, only everyone was so nervous that it was really uncomfortable because the kids were all at an age where they kind of understood what was going on, and we were trying not to talk about it. So there were no televisions on, no radios on, and everybody's cell phones were strategically placed far enough away because it was dinner, but near enough away so that if it started buzzing, you would hear it. So we're talking to the girls about their school, and Barack and Michelle are talking to our kids about moving out to Oregon and blah, 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 and living in new house and all that kind of stuff. And we're all trying to play it cool. And then there are these dead silent times when everybody's trying to think. You're trying to think of how you're going to keep this discussion going, but in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I wonder what's going on.
Right. Why did you guys not want to talk about what was obviously
I couldn't take the suspense. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to take it. I mean, the second time I were around, we watched the returns, completely nerve-wracking.
Didn't your sister give him a present or something?
Yeah, she gave him a tie to wear at the speech, whether he won or lost.
Okay.
And it was kind of cute. It was like, I don't know if this is gonna be a lucky tie or not lucky tie and unlucky tie. And so she gave him a gift, and that was so we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, this is what happens. You hear helicopters. That was the first thing I noticed. But in Chicago, that's not too out of the ordinary. So I didn't think anything. And then all of a sudden, everybody's phones started buzzing. And that was about the time they were ready to call it. And so nobody moves for their phones except Barack. He gets up, looks at his phone, sets his phone down, sits down, and starts eating again. And then he puts his fork down and says, well, looks like we're gonna win. And we all started cracking up because of the way he did that. I mean, he clearly did that purposefully. He got up, looked at his phone, put it down, and sat down like it was bad news. It was like, looks like we're gonna win. And we're like, oh my God. And then you could hear sirens and helicopters. And
why?
Because you gotta have, once you win, you become the president, and then you have a full-fledged motorcade as opposed to sort of a candidate motorcade. So I'm sure they had one for the Republicans set up too, in case they won. And that's how that night went.
Your family rides in the motorcade with your sister and the president downtown. How well do you recall when their daughter, Sasha?
This is great. Malia was the one. So we're riding down. So we in Chicago, we lived about 7 minutes apart. So we were at their house. So we just got dressed there, and we're in the motorcade heading to the Grant Park where he's going to give the acceptance speech. And we're all just talking and riding and excited. And Malia, out of nowhere, says, there are no cars on the other side of Lakeshore Drive. We're going north on Lakeshore Drive, but we're on the south end. And coming south, no cars. That never happens. It's Lakeshore Drive. And we were like, oh, yeah, that's cool. And then the Secret Service guy says, oh, yeah, this is official motorcade. They got to stop traffic in both directions. We're like, man, that's great. And I'm sitting there thinking, and this wasn't my first time riding in the motorcade. I always the most fun for me is thinking about the logistics of everything. And I said to my sister, you're not ever going to be able to drive a car again. And I was kind of half joking. And she said, yes, I am. I said, no, you're not. She said, yes, I am. I said, no, you're not. She said, yes, I am. And then the Secret Service guy said, no, you're not.
Really? That's great.
Yeah.